What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 26. Yep, that's right, 26 of the War Room podcast. I am your Fan Choice Football League host, Andy, and of course, over here we have Rob. Rob, what's going on?
Yo, Cheddar Bob, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm just living the life. I'm the GM of that fan-controlled Fan Choice Football League, which is complete garbage, by the way, may I add. Yeah,
So,
good.
What flea market do you think they went to get that bench that the ball sits on?
Were they just like, wait a second, this is COVID. We can't have a guy out here. Let's just put a bench and put the ball on it. I was like, I looked at the rosters and I wanted to see if there were anybody on there like that. I'd be like, man, you know what? I'd pull for this guy. I mean, Flowers is on a team. He's the quarterback. But then all of a sudden they go and sign Johnny Manziel to a team. And I'm like, I'm done. This turned into a joke.
Yep. And it was terrible. I couldn't stand it. And I don't know. I always liked Arena League ball, like CFL, always enjoyed it. But that was bad. That was really bad. Not a fan at all.
CFL I like. I like CFL, how the offense and defensive lines line up so far apart. So it just looks like a collision every time they hike the ball.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting week, man. These rumors going around. This offseason is going to be awesome. This is going to be an incredibly interesting offseason.
Just announce the cap already. Just tell me what it is so I can keep playing with my tracker and figure out who's getting – my favorite part right now is – and it sucks for me being a Bills fan is that we're not in good cap space. We're not in bad cap space. But someone's going to get cut. We're going to have multiple cuts, and we have players – they're going to walk. Milano, our starting linebacker, is probably gone. We're not going to be able to afford his contract. Everybody wants the Bills to sign J.J. Watt. Don't think it's going to happen. Short just got released by Carolina yesterday. We are the Carolina. Basically, they're our farm system. So we're going to sign him at some point for $8 million. But just tell me what the cap number is so I can get after it. But I don't know.
Looks like J.J., man. I have a feeling Cleveland's going to happen.
How many DNs does Cleveland need? I'm over it.
He would move inside.
So stupid then. Don't go. No.
He'd be better off at this point in his career playing inside in a four-man front. I absolutely would. I think he would. I really do. I think he's better set for that. I also think, I'm not going to say he's a rotational guy, but I definitely would not be signing him to play every snap.
That's the thing. He wants every snap money. He wants 17.5. And I can't fathom Buffalo paying him that. No chance.
I don't think Buffalo is paying him that.
No. But trade rumors are heating up, which is great. Wentz is interesting to see what's going to happen there. What Carolina is being rumored to say, hey, we'll give up 3 first rounds and McCaffrey for, Deshaun, yes, do that in a heartbeat. Texans do that. I don't know.
The car thing is killing me.
What about it?
It's killing me. It really is.
He's your backup. What do you care?
What?
You signed your quarterback, your starter.
Oh, shut up. Just stop it.
He got re-signed for starting quarterback money. He's a stud.
No, he didn't. Stop it.
That's how you win. You don't pay your quarterback and you pay your other players. That's how you win. And you have the quarterback of the future on your bench.
To everybody listening, this moron here is referring to Nate the Great Peterman, who everyone knows is going to be on Gruden's roster for 6 years of his coaching career, or whatever the hell it is. No, the whole thing with Carr it's just absolutely killing me because, I see the situation Chicago's in. I get it. I don't want to trade him. I'd be okay if we traded him. I understand, whatever. We have far bigger needs than a quarterback. But the stupidity of this fan base, is unbelievable to me. I grew up with my father talking to me about the black hole. And, I went out to Oakland and we watched the black hole. And, dude, those fans are incredible. Absolutely the best fans I've ever seen in my life. And then social media happens that gives platforms to the biggest dumbasses in the history of the planet. I really am starting to think that Raider fans don't watch the games. I'm really starting to believe it. I really, truly am. Like, how can you watch the games this year and say that Carr needs to go? He's the reason that this team has been bad for so long. How do you do that?
Your line was trash. Your line was the problem.
Well, you don't watch the games either then. That's good to know. Next topic.
I know the certain points to push with you, and I know when you complain about Raider fans of what I should say to get you fired up. So no, please continue.
Our offensive line is one of the best in the league. It's, the fact that the defense can't stop a nosebleed. But
your running back is terrible. He can't do anything. You don't have a good tight end either. What more should I?
All right, so today we are going to discuss tight ends.
He's so grumpy.
So we're going to be discussing tight ends. Last week we discussed running backs. Week before that we discussed quarterbacks. So this week we're going to do tight ends. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about under the radar guys. Not going to be any Kyle Pitts talk, although Andy doesn't think that he's very good. What else is new?
Right, dude.
He's injury prone and he's never going to make it, but whatever.
Right, dude.
Anyway, well, that's what you said. He's injury prone. He's not going to make it.
He is injury prone, but he's a matchup nightmare. Good luck guarding him.
Oh, I honestly thought you didn't like him.
No, I'm obsessed with him. I just think he's very injury prone. I don't think he should go top 10. But before we start going with the tight end, shout out to Chris Evans for liking and following along with what we were talking about last week with running back. So appreciate him and good luck with your draft training, my friend. But yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Tight end.
Shout out to Kamara feet. That's right.
Look at you, your boy. But I mean, yeah, tight ends, definitely going to talk about some of the guys that possibly you've never heard of or that you could think that we are absolutely crazy. And I mean, I could start off with one.
No, I'm starting. I'm starting.
Go ahead.
Because you're going last. All right. You good with that?
Like it.
All right. I'm going to start with one from the Bowling Green. You like that?
I like him.
Quentin Morris. Two of my three are converted wide receivers. Go figure. Man, so when they converted him to wide receiver, he bulked up so fast. And don't make the steroid jokes, because I know your sense of humor and you're going to do that.
No, I like him.
He got strong so fast. He really hit the weight room like hard. And it's kind of funny because when he first made the conversion, it was pretty swift. And you could actually watch the coaches adapt during the game. Like every game, they were starting with a linebacker on every single game. Then second quarter comes and all of a sudden there's a safety on him. And it was just actually kind of funny to watch because this happened all the time. Also, former b-ball player, pretty good rebounder in high school apparently, and you can totally tell by the way he boxes out players and in the end zone. Like he's awesome at that. Man, I just really like him a lot. Really like him. He had the most receptions in the MAC in 2019. You can play him anywhere too. Like you can play him at, inline tight end. You can play him in the slot. You can play him outside. You can play him pretty much wherever you want to.
Yeah.
So man, he's somebody I'm definitely going to have my eye on. And if he was able to really get that strong, that fast, I can't wait to see what he's going to do in an NFL weight room. Can't wait.
The things that popped off the page with me for him was, he made the change and transition seamlessly. And that's part of the reason why the coaches made him make that change as a wide receiver. And one of the things that you'll see with him as a tight end, he's not all the tight ends that we talked about or we're going to talk about are very pass catching forward tight ends. He's not the most fluid guy. He doesn't have the greatest flexibility, mobility. He looks like a tight end. He looks like a guy should look at that position. But the one thing that's very underrated for him that had to be learned really, really quickly is he's an underrated blocker. And he's willing to help out in the run game. He's willing to get on the side or at the end of the line and take on a DN, take on a linebacker. And he doesn't shy away from contact. There's a lot of pass catching tight ends that they just do the ole. They do the bare minimum of I'm going to hit you and then you better throw me the ball type. So no, it was awesome to see. I mean, he was definitely one of the guys that I had on my list on the outside looking in that I talk about. But yeah, I mean, all in all, good, unique mid-round prospect.
Absolutely.
Who do I want to go with? Let me start with Nick Eubanks. So 6'5", tight end, Michigan. So I don't like Michigan at all as a team, as a program, but they have great prospects, great players. And he's one that jumps off the page to me. He's a big tight end who catches the ball away from his body, which is huge for a tight end because a tight end is always looking to spin their head first and get downfield. So that was something that's huge to watch for him. He's big, and that's what I like out of my tight ends. He's 6'5", and like that's what you need for that type of guy. The thing that I think really hurt him most was honestly being at Michigan. And I know I said that I was a hater, but at the same time, he didn't have consistent quarterback play. So he didn't have consistent, like, any understanding or relationship with the quarterback there. So it hurt him, but his athletic ability is ridiculous. His cuts and his route running is good, not great. I would definitely love to see him do a little bit more and work a little bit more in the run game and do some of that because he really didn't have to do much of it because that wasn't the type of system they were running. And also Michigan just was an absolute mess. But he's definitely got to keep an eye out for in those mid rounds, I'd say mid to late rounds.
I honestly thought, based upon Harbaugh's past and Michigan's past with the tight end position, I really thought they would get more out of him. I'm actually surprised that, like, his utilization, they just didn't utilize him well, in my opinion. Like, I see him as a very, I won't say mobile, but like, I could see him lining up in the backfield, like as an H-back too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they just didn't utilize him well. Like, he has a lot of traits, big dude, good run blocker, you know, good hands too, but like he can play the H-back spot, in my opinion, too. Like, man, utilize that size. Seriously. I didn't understand how they played him. So yeah, I agree with you. That's a good pick.
That's what's unique about it. Like what you said is I wonder if it was part they didn't utilize him or he wasn't willing. And it's not saying that he wasn't willing, it's just they realized that that's not his strong suit to put him back there. Because if he could, like him back there, it's just a matchup nightmare. And to have him running like big athletic dude, he can open up some holes for the running games too. He can do some crazy things in the play action game. So yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing. I was definitely like they didn't utilize him enough, and the team was just trash. So that's what didn't happen.
I think he had some injuries too, if I remember correctly.
Think so.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely a good pick. My second one, going Tony Poljam, Virginia. Did you see his touchdown against Miami?
I did not. That's one I did not.
Like, first off, the dude's like a friggin' ballerina, bro. Like, the footwork on this play was insane. And I didn't pick him for this list just for one play, obviously, but like his footwork on this play was ridiculous. And I'm not going to lie to you, he's one of those guys that I actually watched his tape because of this play that I saw. Man, and the worst part about this play though too, he only got 1 foot in the end zone, so it wasn't actually a touchdown in the NFL ranks, but like the way he was able to get this foot down was just unreal. So I definitely urge you to go watch that when you get a chance. But his footwork is just awesome. Really reliable hands. He utilizes his big frame as a blocker. Not the best athlete in the world, but he puts himself in really good positions. He's another one that's a former quarterback, so he really understands like how to read defenses and as well as putting his quarterback in the right spot. Old school, like, what do they call that? Like the lunch pail mentality? Yep. Like, he's just that guy. Someone will take him and they're going to get a really good red zone threat and a sound blocker when they pick him. So that's definitely, he's somebody I think is going to be very good in the NFL. I just have a feeling about him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that popped off with me for him is it's like he's the stereotypical number 2 tight end.
Yeah.
He's not a game breaker. He's not a 15-yard receiver, run after catch type guy. He's a, hey, we need you to run a button hook. We need you to run a 5-yard out. Yep. And that's it. He's going to catch the ball, and then he's going to be dead in the water. Because he has great body control. I saw the great body control on film that I was watching, but when you would watch him do run after catch, it was just like, dude, like drop off the piano and go. Like cut and go. You see a person come at you, he didn't lower his shoulder. He kind of just like turned into like a wet noodle. So that's something to be that, hey, maybe it could grow in the NFL. Maybe it's just the system and scheme. But yeah, I mean, you can't teach hands and you can't teach the body control awareness that he had, which is definitely good. So he's definitely a good move in the sticks type guy. And yeah, absolutely late round gem that I would say.
Yeah, agreed.
Another guy that I got that's going up everybody's draft boards is Trey McKitty, tight end Georgia / Florida State. Florida State to start, transferred to Georgia. Bad move to transfer to Georgia. I understand why players do it and transfer to the big time schools that are potential in the playoffs. But the thing that hurt him, and I mean, big thing that I liked about him is 6'5" guy again, but he's fast. He can move. He's got wide receiver type skills at the tight end position. But the big thing that hurt him going to Georgia was Georgia's scheme does not value a tight end ever in their new system. They just don't use them. They don't use tight ends at all. So he didn't get to have the production that he needed to make himself jump up these draft boards. But things that I would definitely recommend everybody look at and watch is basically look at his Senior Bowl tape, his Senior Bowl one-on-ones, everything that he did at the Senior Bowl. He was fantastic. And the thing with him is he's not afraid to take on blockers. He may not be the greatest at it right now, and he has to learn a little bit more form and technique, but he doesn't shy away from contact either. So he'll run somebody over. Great hands, like I said, and it would be interesting to see. He's going to go late. I'd say 3rd, 4th round he'll go because of his upside, but I mean, he's boom or bust. You never know.
I agree. Man, he looks like a running back, like a big running back when he's in the open field.
Oh, yeah.
His vision's awesome. Man, you could have some fun with him. You could really have a lot of fun with him. He is so dynamic. So dynamic. And yeah, the Senior Bowl tape was really good. Absolutely. But he could go higher than people think just because of his athleticism. And man, we're seeing now with, Kelsey and Kittle and Waller and all them, like all the things you can do. I'm not saying this guy is that, but like all the things you can do with a dynamic tight end, like it opens up so much for the rest of your offense. It really does. I think I totally agree with you. I think he's going to go higher than people think. I really do. I have a feeling he's going to go pretty high. Athleticism's through the roof.
He could. I mean, that's the way the game's going nowadays too, is a lot of people are going the more pass catching. I think that's why you and I both went this route, is they're going the pass catching tight end, the matchup nightmare, instead of we want an extra lineman type guy. So he's intriguing. I'm interested to see what happens.
Absolutely. Last one I wanted to go into, this kind of the same reasons that we just talked about with McKitty. Kylan Granson from SMU. Dude is just an athletic freak. He really is. All ACC first team. He actually transferred from Rice. He's a Swiss Army knife. He really is. You can use him anywhere. Same thing, inline, H-back, slot, outside, big special teams guy. Phenomenal ability to get physical in the blocking game. I love his mindset. He gets critiqued a lot for his route running, to be honest, but honestly, like I actually thought it was pretty good. I watched I think 3 games of his, and I'm yet to really see why the route running is kind of the question mark. Maybe I'll get there, but great hands, great ability to make plays on the ball. He attacks the ball, creates separation easily. Really fun to watch. Leader on the team too. I think he's another one that's going to go earlier than we think because of his athleticism and the tendencies of the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Stevie Johnson route running, where people didn't like it because it wasn't you run out 3 steps, land on your right foot, cut right, and go. He's got, I'm going to get to the spot you need me to at the time you need me to get there. So, I mean, yeah, absolutely fun guy to watch. My biggest knock on him, and it's nothing that he can do. I mean, it's his height. He's 6'3", so he's a shorter tight end, which scares me in the regards to he's not exactly a mismatched nightmare, depending upon how well he does in his 40 and how well he does in like all those other. I mean, he has the ability to get open. Don't get me wrong, and he did get open a lot, but it was SMU, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but definitely going to be interesting to see how he pairs up against the other guys. Which, yeah, I mean, fun guy to watch. his ball skills are awesome. Like, his ball skills are wide receiver level. Like, watching him in the air trying to get a ball is fantastic.
Yeah, Dallas Clark says, what's up?
Oh, hey, hi, bud. Hi, boo. But I guess that brings us to my last one, the complete opposite of what you just went with. So I went with a 6'7" punter out of Central Missouri State, which is a D2 school, Zach Davidson. So yes, you heard me right, punter. So he is a tight end at this D2 school, but he also punted for them. So I don't know. I think it would just be amazing to see a 6'7" punter back there. But at the same time, like, watching him and watching his tape, which is, it's hard to find, but when you find it, he's just insane. So they didn't get to play this year because the season got suspended due to COVID early on in the year. But I mean, last year he had 40 receptions for 894 yards and 15 touchdowns. He is, watching him out there, it's like a gazelle. He is a long striding runner. Dude's got speed, or at least he gives the illusion that he has speed, which is insane. I mean, he did the college gridiron showcase. He showed that he could really move. I mean, he was doing end arounds in D2. Like, he was the best player on the field. But again, it's D2. So if you're that good, you're probably going to make everybody look stupid. He could have done everything on the field. My biggest thing with him is I would love to see him against a DN and a linebacker at the D1 level and see how he's going to do that in the pro level. So he could be a developmental guy. But at 6'7" and watching him catch some of the balls that he did, it's unreal. You just can't teach that.
Dude, you know how awesome it would be to be able to have a backup punter but not have to utilize a roster spot on a backup punter?
Yeah.
Like, in 2019, he had 19 punts go inside of the opponent's 20, 9 of them over 50 yards, and hit a long of 67. That's not nothing. You know what I mean? That's pretty good.
Imagine the trick plays with him.
You could have a blast with this.
It could be so much fun.
And he really did. If you watch any of him, man, he looked like an adult playing in Pop Warner. He really did. Somebody's going to take a flyer on him, man. Even if you utilize him as your third tight end, like, that, the value there is so high. It really is. I love it. Like, I absolutely love it.
Like, I thought about him for anything and everything. I mean, outside of him being a punter, think of him on your special teams unit where you're doing punt block or you're doing field goal block. Like, he can be that guy. He could be a gunner if he's got decent speed. I mean, he could be on your hands team because he's a giant. It's just unreal. I mean, I'm super interested to see how it goes for him, especially because, yeah, it sucks that they didn't get to play this year. So he's still being looked at by NFL teams, but it's a tough spot for him for sure.
It really is. It really is. Somebody will take a flyer on him, though. Just the athletic ability at the position and the fact that he has the special teams background. Somebody will do it. But no, that's definitely an awesome pick. I love that.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are what we have for this week's picks for our particular tight end category. I know the one thing that I want to mention that I didn't even mention to you beforehand, but FCS football is kicking off soon. So that starts soon. So the Delaware's, the lower, I think it's 1AA schools are starting soon. What do you think you would do as if you're a prospect for one of those schools? Do you play? Do you play right now?
It depends on the situation, man. You know what I mean? It has to. I don't know. I really don't know. It totally, to me, depends on the situation. If I'm a fringe guy, probably. If it's going to get me, you know, I don't want to say drafted, because when you're talking round 6 and 7, you're almost better off going undrafted. You can kind of pick where you're going. But man, if there's somebody that's, you know, 4th, 5th round that might get me in round 3, probably doing it.
That's got to be a wear and tear on your body if you think about it. Like, you're going right from playing spring football into an NFL camp, into an NFL season.
Yep.
Like, I mean, the one guy that pops off the page for me with that is Ellerson Smith, the D end out of crap. Where is he? I think it is. Who's the Panthers? Northern Iowa. So he's a good player. He didn't play this past year. They start up on Friday. They have their first game. So I didn't look at the roster to see if he's playing or not. But like those type of guys, he got invited to the Reese's Senior Bowl. So my guess is since he played in the Senior Bowl, he's like, I'm not going to play this season. It's in my best interest not to. But yeah, I was just thinking about that where it's unique. There's some running back prospects, late round prospects that are going to be playing soon. So it's cool. I mean, I'm happy because I get to watch football again, and I don't have to watch
100%.
the fan.
That's 100%.
Yeah, I don't have to watch that fan league with Johnny Football. But, that's all I got. I don't know if you got anything else. I'm bored of you.
I'm always bored of you, so that works.
You're still mad that I said that your offensive line was terrible. I just knew what button to push.
I just don't like surrounding myself with stupidity.
Well, you're the one that wanted this podcast with me. That's it. Stupid is as stupid does, my friend.
That was before comments like that. Like that's just dumb.
You know what? This is what we're gonna do. Just get Darius Hayward-Bay back on the Raiders.
Can we wrap this up?
Yeah, we can definitely wrap this up. But for those of you that still want to follow along with us as we bicker, please do follow us on our social channels. So you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at @the_WarRoom33.
And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, give us your thoughts. Have any questions, players you got an eye on? Send it out, definitely.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Later.